Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio.
Stand by.
Yes, free never sounded so good.
From the UTSA Sports Network, live from Chicken and Pickle, this is the Jeff Traylor Radio Show.
All right.
The Jeff Traylor Radio Show, presented by UT Health San Antonio, the official healthcare partner of UTSA Athletics. By Chicken and Pickle, good food, good friends, great fun. Also brought to you by
What's
Bud
up, brother?
Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
Hi, Dylan.
Enjoy responsibly. And by Credit Human, the official credit union of the UTSA Roadrunners. Now, with head coach Jeff Traylor, here's the voice of the Roadrunners, Andy Everett.
And good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Jeff Traylor Radio Show as UTSA gets set to take on North Texas this weekend, a Friday night affair in the Alamo Dome. We'll get to all of that coming up in just a bit. The Jeff Traylor Radio Show is presented by UT Health San Antonio. Before we get this kicked off tonight with all the North Texas stuff and all the football stuff and whatever else we do, we'll have J.J. Sparkman out here in a little bit, and also Martavius French will join us. But congrats to you. You're now you have a grandchild. How about that?
I am. It's pretty exciting. Carrie's already back in New Orleans, so I'll be batching it for a week.
Have they figured out what you're going to be referred as?
No, we don't know yet. She's going to be Care Bear. She's already got a cool name, so I was shooting
Well, you gave her that one, didn't you?
I was shooting for F.A. or Papa Bear, but I'm afraid it's not going to fly. I don't think she's going to go for F.A., so we'll see what happens. Whatever he's good with, I'm good with.
All right, sounds good. And congrats on all of that, and to your family back in New Orleans, and I hope everything continues to be great for them.
Yeah, it worked out perfect. We practiced Wednesday. I jumped on a plane and flew to New Orleans, and they induced her that night, and Mickey got here at 3:06 p.m. I'm surprised at how unscientific it is when you measure how long they are and how much they weigh. The nurse is like, he's about, 20 inches. I'm like, no. Steve Fay and I were in there together, and Steve's like, his knees were like curled up. I'm like, stretch him out. And they're like, okay, he's 21 inches. I'm like,
there you go.
I always thought this was like real science. I didn't know that it's kind of an approximate thing.
They just guess at it sometimes.
And
I know they put him on a little scale.
Well, they kind of did. They're like, he's like 7.5 pounds. I'm like, are we sure? That sounds awful small. So, yeah, 7.5 pounds. 21 inches, 3:06 p.m. We're fired up.
Perfect. That's awesome. Congrats to you and the family.
Thank you very much.
And all of that. All right, let's get into this. And the second bye week out of the way, and back for the final 3 weeks of the season, a couple of Friday night games. And did this team get the necessary rest after the Memphis game?
Well, it's such a fine balance. We've got our weaknesses still we're trying to fix. We haven't been real good at defending the pass this year, so we want to work extra on that, right? We haven't been real good at running the ball this year. We want to work extra on that. But at the same time, our DBs have been destroyed with injury, and our line's been destroyed with injuries. So it's hard to work them too hard when you're trying to get them healthy again. But we know we've got to get those two areas cleaned up to finish the season out strong.
A couple of weeks ago on the Tuesday visit that we do each week, you mentioned, and I'm up for this too, the second bye week this year has been great for all the teams. You'd like to start the season earlier and have 2 or 3 bye weeks and stretch this out a little bit further. It's college football. Let's play more.
I would start, as long as I've been a head coach, the first day I was eligible to play football, we teed it up. It's just your fans are ready, your kids are ready. And you're never really ready, but you need to get going. You just need to get going, and I'd be all for as many buys as we could possibly have.
All right, you go back and look at the Memphis film and the dominating defense, to have 4 fourth down stops, to have, I think it was 7 of 8 or 8 of 9 possessions in a row where you got the ball back and gave your offense opportunities to score, and they did. So what were your overall thoughts going back a week and a half ago or so to Memphis?
Yeah, just that. I mean, we were really good. We didn't run the ball, again, like we really want to. We threw it exceptionally well, and we played great defense for all the second half until, I thought we got a little soft on our 2-minute defense there in the end. And obviously the execution of our hands team, that was disappointing. But we got out there with a win against a really good football team.
All year long, you've been talking about a bunch of guys that have been hurt, and one that finally got to play was David Amador, and the impact that he had. And he only on the stat sheet, it only looks like he had 3 or 4 plays, but there was so many other things. I'm sure that he was doing well.
Yeah, David's just a really good football player. and we're really thrilled to have him back. He was a huge part of our offense, in the spring and in the fall camp, and that was a big piece we missed. So he'll keep getting better. He's probably about 75, 80%, but he's still a good football player at 80%.
And since he hasn't played that much, does he still get to redshirt? Because he's only going to play 4 games.
That is correct.
So he'll get another year back.
He'll get another year. And I told him right now it's going to be painful, but his senior season, he'll be glad that all this happened.
Yeah, that's a good thing in retrospect there. All right, you've been getting ready for North Texas. What's been obviously working on things and getting healthy, and we'll talk in depth about North Texas, but what's kind of been the theme of the practices this week getting this team ready to roll?
Well, it starts with our defense, and just, their offense is really incredible. Chandler Morris is one of the top quarterbacks in the country. If you were to do their statistics on how fast they score, I think they've had 6 one-play drives where they scored a touchdown. Something crazy. Kyle gave me the data on it. I wish Kyle wouldn't have given it to me. It's like I think with under 2 minutes, they scored like over 20-something touchdowns. Under 1 minute, they scored like 16 or 19 touchdowns. It's just crazy how fast they score. And it all goes through Chandler Morris. He gets rid of the ball so quick. They do a great job with the screen game, quick game. Defensively, they're basically out of an odd front. Very multiple as far as how all their run pressures, their pass pressures. And Coach Zavoda does a great job in their kicking game. So they're a good football team. Doesn't surprise me. Eric has always done a good job coaching wherever he's gone, and he's got those guys going again.
There's a lot of great quarterbacks in this league, but I think Owen McCown's got to be considered one of them. You talk about Hennigan at Memphis and Chandler at North Texas, and there's others out there that have had great years, but Owen's numbers and the way he's kind of carried this team is as good as anyone, isn't it?
Yeah, two great quarterbacks. Chandler, went to Oklahoma originally, then TCU, and now North Texas. A real dual threat quarterback. Johnny Manziel-like, Baker Mayfield-like. He gets it out of his hand really quickly, and he's going to be running around somewhere. He's not afraid to make plays. Coach's kid, his dad is Chad, who I work for, and I've known Chandler for basically his entire life, and he's really special. And Eric does a good job using him.
And what are you seeing in the maturation of Owen? What's different from him in Week 10 than we saw in Week 1, 2, and 3?
I think you could see it just as easily as I can. I mean, just how calm he is back there in the back. He's starting to get the ball out of his hand, not take sacks. We didn't have any sacks last week, very few negative plays. It's just fun watching a guy grow up right in front of your eyes. He's always been tough and had moxie. I think he'll finish games better as he gets older, when he gets stronger mentally and physically. But it's been a joy watching that kid, improve each week for 9 straight games.
You've been talking about, and we have for a long time, about the lack of having the run game that you've had in the past few years, but you've had a really good vertical passing game. So why? Why is this team so good at passing instead of running, where it may have been more balanced in the past?
Well, we've committed to it. The injury bug has got us like it did in 21, or 22, I'm sorry, yeah. Andy. In 22, we just lost all of our linemen, and in 24, we've done it again. So we just committed to the pass. It's not like we've given up totally on the run, but in the past where we would try to, we've erred on the side of throwing the ball.
All right, coming up, we'll visit with J.J. Sparkman and Martavius French in the next couple of segments. Every time the runners score a touchdown and make a 2-point conversion this year, it's an 8-point possession, and one lucky fan will win $888 thanks to Wainwright Injury Attorneys, the official attorneys of UTSA Athletics. We had several lucky winners last season, so go to the promotions page on the UTSA app and register to win your $888 today. And Texas Farm Bureau Insurance members can get 2 free tickets to Roadrunners football, basketball, and baseball games when you redeem online. Become a Texas Farm Bureau Insurance member and visit goutsa.com/TFB tickets. We'll visit with the players of the next 2. We are back out here at Chicken and Pickle. Fans, you can win a brand new 2024 Nissan Frontier pickup truck in the Ancira Punt for a Pickup contest. Go to GoUTSA.com/promotions to register today. Then you can be one of 3 finalists on the field at the Temple game to punt to win a brand new truck, courtesy of the Ancira family of dealerships and the All-American Car Wash. And UTL San Antonio is an official healthcare partner of UTSA Athletics. See how UT Health San Antonio's brightest minds are making lives better at WeMakeLivesBetter.org. We're joined by J.J. Sparkman, UTSA wide receiver. Push that mic up just a little bit there. How are you tonight?
Good.
Welcome
How
to the
are
show.
you? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Take us through your season, especially the last couple of games. You've caught a few more passes and been a big part of this UTSA offense.
It's been big being able to help the offense here. I mean, coming from Texas Tech, playing a different role, getting here to make some big plays. It's been really good to help the team out in any way, rather than just blocking, running down routes, anything.
Talk about coming from Texas Tech. What made you come to UTSA?
Coach Traylor, he gave me an opportunity to come and play. I jumped on that instantly.
So what was that conversation like when you had the first call?
But when I called him, I asked him, I was like, you got a spot for me? I'm thinking about getting in the portal. And he's like, heck yeah. And I jumped on instantly.
Well, let's make sure we clarify. I'd already talked to Coach McGuire. He knew J.J. and I were talking, so I don't want any violations going on out there. But I'd known J.J. when he was in junior high. I don't remember if I was at Texas or SMU or Arkansas, but his high school coach used to coach for me at Gilmer named Kerry Lane. And Kerry told me he had a kid that loved hoops, but he was thinking about going straight basketball and just wanted me to come share, what I thought of JJ as far as possible football future. And I don't remember what grade he was in. He was awful young. And I just remember talking to him saying, look, there are a ton of basketball players that are really good that get left out. There are very few big receivers that ever get left out. And that's where I got to know JJ, and I was his first offer. I was at Arkansas then. I had him committed to me, and then obviously we got let go of at Arkansas, and he went to Tech, and as a few other ones. I had Savion Williams, who's at TCU. We had Polk, who went to Washington. I had a heck of a class coming in, but I didn't get to bring them all in, but I got JJ on the rebound.
All right, so those relationships, we talked about this before, but that relationship that you had when you were, 7th, 8th grade, all of a sudden pans out to when you're getting ready to go make a college choice.
Yes, sir.
He's as good a human as you'll ever coach. I mean, he is an unbelievable team player. He doesn't complain if he gets the ball. When he does, and like the other night, he had the drop early in the game. Head wasn't down. Very next time he gets the ball, makes a 39, 40-yard catch. He's just that kind of kid all the time. All
right, talk about that upbringing and being a great person. Where'd all that come from?
My mom, being around the East Texas area, there's a lot of great people, having to get people to push me, raise me the right way. I had to stay with my mom.
Yeah, and I remember a couple of catches you made in the spring game. And we were like, okay, where'd this guy come from? And then we started, doing the research and all that. Talk about your game in particular, because you've made some spectacular plays at times, not only this year, but certainly back in the spring game as well.
Here lately, I've been working on catching the ball downfield, running underneath it. I feel like I've been doing a real good job here lately of working on that and progressing towards that, of being like long speed wins and winning vertically.
He's had 2 good weeks. He's had 2 really good weeks.
And you've had to kind of step up because of the injuries at the wide receiver spot, so that's given you more opportunities to show what you can do. Kind of address that, if you will.
Just being ready when my name is called. When my number is called, being ready to step up and make a play. I've been preparing well. I'm in the playbook, so when my time is coming, I'm ready to go.
I really wish he had one more year. He would really explode next year if he had one more season. It's just he's only got one left, so we're going to enjoy him while we got him.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to keep trending up like he is right now.
All right, that wide receiver room. Obviously, JT got hurt, and that was, we certainly have had a slew of injuries. But just talk about the room in particular and how together it is and what you've learned from Devin and from Willie and all the other guys in that room.
Them guys have taught me so much. Them guys basically taught me the offense. When I got here in January, I was lost. I remember my first practice, we went turbo, and I ran the wrong route. I turned the wrong way. Them guys have helped me tremendously. Them guys, ever since I came in, they added me along in that room like I was family.
What's the adjustments like to learn a new playbook? How do you pick that up? And I'm sure there's some different terminology and different things you got to do.
I had to start fresh. Coming from a different system, an air raid system. I had to start fresh. And it was like learning the concepts and learning what everybody does instead of just one side of the ball. it was a rough start at first, but it came along.
We do a lot. We do. I'd like to say we don't, but we do. And the different alignments of the receivers, the different splits, and Texas Tech's got a great system too, but theirs is a little bit more friendly towards the player. Ours is a little extensive in all the things we do with our receivers.
Well, and one of the things that has to happen as a wide receiver is sometimes you got to block for a fellow wide receiver or running back. Talk about that aspect of playing in this offense and having to do all of that.
You have to be selfless. That's all it is. You got to be selfless. You put your team before you. You're going to win. It's about doing your 111. So if my job is to go out there and block a linebacker, anybody, I'm going to do it just to help the team win.
He's good on special teams as well. He's just very unselfish. Blocking, none of that. You don't have to talk to JJ about that. Like he said, his mom put that in him, and that's just who the kid has been. He's a guy that if he'd have been here, he'd have been a single-digit guy next year for sure.
Let's talk about North Texas coming up. What do you think of their defense?
We're going to have to make plays down the field, make contested catches. We're going to have to win our vertical one-on-one and be ready to block and be physical on the perimeter when it gets spit out there.
They've been able to be opportunistic with turnovers too, so that comes back to some big battles that you're going to have.
And some ball security. We've been working all week on ball security. When in trouble, doubling and take care of that ball and chasing the ball down from the back end just in case it does get on the ground.
All right, this is your last year of football. I'm sure you're hoping there's more football down the road, but what are your plans? What do you want to do next?
There's no more football down the road. I want to coach. It's been my dream since I was young. I remember I was sitting there on my visit one time to Arkansas. I told my high school head coach I wanted to be a coach just like him.
Where did that love come from? Just because you're around so many other coaches that do this?
A lot of my family members on my mom's side are coaches. My uncle was my high school track coach.
All right.
He won't have trouble finding a job. We'll all be lined up wanting to hire JJ.
Yeah. What do you think your best aspect is in relating? Let's say you become a college coach or a high school coach. You're going to have to relate to kids. You're going to have to convince them to come to whatever school you're at. Maybe some have money, maybe some don't. But how do you think you'll perform in that area?
I feel like I perform through really well, like from my experiences playing as a player and being recruited as a young player coming from a mediocre family that has moderate money. Like, I feel like I'll be able to connect with those kids very well.
This is the first interview we've done, and I can just see the personality coming out in him, Jeff. He just makes everybody happy to be around him.
He's a sharp kid. He's deep. He's very mature. He's always been this way. He's just that guy. I mean, Texas Tech raved about him. I wish he would have come year before last, but he was stubborn. Wanted to wait one more year. But I'm glad we got him on the back end.
All right, JJ, all the best to you, whatever it is, and I hope to see you on the sidelines coaching wherever you coach down the road. Keep making big plays these last few weeks of this season.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Nice job, JJ.
That's JJ Smartman with us out here, UTSA wide receiver. He's one of our heroes that we honor each week with our players. The other one will be Martavius French in just a minute. USAA honors the heroes who serve in our military as the official military appreciation sponsor of UTSA. And this and JJ and Martavius are the two gridiron heroes that are tonight. We'll get to know them better during our USAA Heroes segment each and every week, and we'll have a couple of more in the next few shows. And don't forget to give blood every 2 seconds in the U.S. Someone needs blood, and every time you donate, you are saving up to 3 lives. Visit southtexasblood.org to schedule your donation, because when you give, they live. It's the Jeff Traylor Radio Show on the UTSA Sports Network. Compare HEB prices to any store. They check and compare thousands of prices on the things you use to gear up for the game, so you can fill up your cart without emptying your wallet. When it comes to UTSA football, no store does more than your HEB, a proud supporter of UTSA athletics. And enjoy Bud Light while cheering on the runners. Bud Light is the official beer of UTSA athletics. Birds up, buds up all season long. We are joined on the show by linebacker Martavius French. How are you tonight?
I'm doing fine.
Doing good.
Now, y'all think my accent is country. Wait till you hear this boy's accent. They're straight from Memphis.
Yeah. Well, that's all right because this guy makes a ton of plays.
He does do that.
Every time that there's a tackle or a bunch of people, you're usually in the middle of it. So talk about that part of your game because you make some big plays for this team.
Just relentless, just getting to the football. That's just my mindset every play. I just want to be a great linebacker, so just getting to the football every play is just my main priority.
Yeah, all the time every time I see something going on, he's around the ball.
He runs to the ball. He loves football. Every time he comes out of the locker room, he's as excited as Ric Flair is going to wrestle. I mean, he's got something crazy to say when he comes on the field. And he always has energy, always has juice. I met Martavius, many, many years ago. He was a young kid coming out of Memphis, and I was at Arkansas, and I liked him. I always liked his personality, and he ended up going to Tennessee, and I got him, the next time around, which is a lot of the ways with our kids. But I remember our discussion about him, whether we wanted to recruit him or not, and I'm like, I think there's something to this young man. He's bright-eyed. He's very smart. He loves the game. And I'm really glad I decided to bet on Martavius.
All right, take us through your journey from Memphis to Knoxville to San Antonio. How did that all work out for you?
It was a great little adventure for me. But out of high school, I was recruited, a big star, 4-star recruit out of high school. I went to Tennessee with two of my best friends out of high school as well. But I had got to a little incident up there, and I had to end up going to junior college in Hutchinson, Community College. And really, my mindset was just to grow, and whatever school gave me another chance, I was going to take advantage of that opportunity. And man, Coach Traylor was the first school that gave me the opportunity, and once he gave it to me, I told him, come here, and it's the risk.
Talk about that visit after you were at the junior college to come here.
Are you talking about
with Jeff and making the decision to come here when he gave you that opportunity? What kind of a day was that for you?
Well, honestly, my mind was already made up when I got to junior college. I was saying in this school, actually, whoever gave me the first opportunity to go back and play Division I football, I was going to take it. And I actually didn't come on a visit to UTSA till after I was committed, after I signed and everything. Mm-hmm. I just knew the conversation was genuine when we was on the phone when they wanted to come and get me.
All right, take us through this team's defense. In the last couple of, especially the Memphis game, all those stops. You had 10 tackles. You were Defensive Player of the Week, so congrats on that.
Thank you, sir.
Take us through those stops, the fourth down stops. I know we asked you on the postgame show the other night, have you ever been in a game where you got 4 fourth down stops, and that was back in high school days, right?
Yeah, yes, sir. I just love my defense. When everybody just lock in, just do their job, like we're one of the top in the nation. And it shows on film, we got a lot of bullies everywhere. Our defensive linemen, we got different rotations from those guys to come in. A lot of those guys come in and do different parts. We got Sam linebackers, different guys for those positions. Will position, we got different corners that can come in, different safeties. So when guys just come in and just juiced up and we see each other make plays, they give us the ammunition and the energy to go make plays ourselves.
You got to like the way he plays. We talked about that earlier, but he and this entire defense, you've always talked about how mentally tough they are and physically tough they are.
You'd be shocked if you knew really how smart Martavius is when it comes to football. The kid loves football. He loves to watch it. He loves to study it. He knows the playbook. It's just been a maturation process for him. His maturing process has been like most young players, that when they get in a program, they come out, they're highly recruited. No one's ever told them the truth. They really don't want to hear the truth. And then there's the process of going through that. Is this guy really telling me the truth? And it's just, we talk about it all the time. Trust is truth over time. And by the time they get to this point in their career, 9 times out of 10, every player I've had here, they are totally bought in. And he's another example of a young man that's totally bought into the culture. I really believe when this is all said and done, the greatest thing they're going to be remembered for is no one could have come back from the losses these guys have been through. you look at the way they lost the Rice game, the East Carolina game, and the Tulsa game, and they go upset Memphis. They got a great game coming again this Friday night against North Texas. It's tremendous props to these guys for how they've held the locker room together.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, talk about your love of the game. You study playbooks. You and Jamal are calling out plays. All those kind of things going on. Where did you develop that love for football and carrying it forward to today?
Well, honestly, I just want to be great in all aspects of my life. So I really use football to be a starter, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't used to get what I wanted my first year here, just playing as much and all that and so much. But when I just took it step by step, day by day, just really understanding the game, you know what I mean? It slowed down for me, and it just made everything much faster. I always loved football because just growing up, I wanted to go to the NFL, to play football. But I really do want to go to the NFL, so I want to do anything to make myself different, you know what I mean? You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
He'll get his chance. Every scout asked about him. We're going to get through this season and get him ready for his pro day, and he'll crush his pro day. And like I tell every scout that comes in there, when y'all get him in camp, you'll have a hard time making him leave. He'll grow on you. He just loves football so much.
JJ mentioned he wants to coach. Is that in your future?
Yes, sir. I always want to get back to my community. Just the same thing my coaches did to me in high school. Yes, sir.
Talk about some of those high school relationships you had and how that developed, not only your love for the game, but want to continue it as kind of a profession down the road as well.
Well, in my high school, all my coaches are volunteer coaches, and they have career jobs like firemen, being defensive attorneys, and everything. So there's one coach, he's a defensive attorney named Errol Harmon. He used to always just give me talks on the way home every day, just life talks, not just football, just to be a better man, and everything. So I say relationships in high school were a big part of where I'm in now.
And you got to play North Texas this weekend. Talk about trying to track down Chandler Morris and their offense. That's going to be a challenge for you.
Nah, for real. Just like Coach was saying, I was committed to Arkansas in high school with Chandler Morris, so I know a lot about his game. He's a great quarterback, and it's going to be a great game. They got great receivers, great running backs, so it's going to be a good game.
Well, you're now on national TV on Friday night, and you're the only game, so a lot of people that may not know you are going to get a chance to see you, and maybe some of them are NFL scouts, too. That'd be pretty cool.
Yes, sir, sure will.
All right. Thanks, Martavius, for joining us. All the best to you going forward, and keep making more big plays.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you for having me.
Marvelous, Martavius.
Yes,
there you go. All right. That's Martavius French, one of UTSA's inside linebackers. We're out here at Chicken and Pickle. Good friends, good food, great fun. Chicken and Pickle. Cold drinks, delicious food. Yard games and pickleball for all at UTSA Boulevard and Vance Jackson. And we'll come back with more in just a bit as we'll talk about North Texas coming up. And don't forget that if you are a Texas Farm Bureau insurance member, you get tickets to UTSA football, basketball, and baseball games when you redeem online. Become a Texas Farm Bureau insurance member and visit goutsa.com/TFB tickets to learn more. It's the Jeff Traylor Radio Show on the UTSA Sports Network. This season, Roadrunner touchdowns mean more than 6 points for every touchdown UTSA scores at home. The Texas Animal Defense League will receive $1,000 thanks to North Park Subaru. Last season, North Park Subaru donated $27,000 to the Texas Animal Defense League thanks to 27 UTSA touchdowns. It's North Park Subaru's TDs for charity. And you can save time after the game by ordering Taco Cabana online at tacocabana.com or on the MyTC loyalty app. Sign up for great rewards and exclusive offers only at Taco Cabana. The Roadrunners will play the North Texas Mean Green this weekend, Friday night. And let's talk about North Texas a little bit more in detail. We talked about Chandler Morris. What is it about coaches or players, the sons of coaches or players, because Owen obviously was around his dad forever, and Chad was around Chandler, or Chandler was around Chad. Talk about what it is that they learn from those that you can't teach.
Well, we also have the advantage. We know where the great coaches are. So Chad was very intentional getting Chandler to play for Randy Allen at Highland Park, who's as good a coach as there is in the country. So we got developed by Randy, won a state championship there. Then he's around it, with his father. He's always in the field house. I know when Chad was at Clemson, we helped turn that offense around. Chandler was a little kid there on the sidelines, so he's getting to watch Dabo Sweeney and the great quarterbacks that Chad had there. And it's just you're just part of it. You got so many of those quarterbacks. They're coaches' kids. They just grow up around it.
Is there anything more, and we'll talk about this in relation to the quarterbacks in a second, but is there anything that's more rewarding to you to take a recruit, develop that recruit, and see that player get better and better each and every game, each and every year?
Yeah, it's the part of college football that's, bums out old guys like me, right? You know that you're going to be with those guys 4 and 5 years. And now in the new world, you're pretty much hoping you get them for a semester, and sometimes you don't get them for a semester.
Right.
We've got guys, it's just part of it, and it's the best part. But like I tell them all the time, the winning's fun, the championships are fun, but I've got the same telephone number I've had for 24 years, and anytime I talk to a former player, we never talk about one game. It's never about a game. It's always about a memory. It's about a marriage. It's about a kid. It's about a job. It's about a locker room. It's about a bus ride home. You heard Martavius talking about, you asked him about his. It's the relationships. It's riding home with his coach after practice. They never talk about, can you believe the dadgum Rice game? Or can you believe, you remember when we won against Western Kentucky? It's not that.
Yeah.
It's very strange. Whenever you get brought back for a 10-year reunion of a state championship or a 20-year reunion of a state championship or a conference championship reunion, there's very, very, if any, little talk about the games. It's always about the relationships.
You mentioned Chandler Morris has all the tools to do all the great things. Talk about so there's not one thing he does well that you can focus on. He does a lot of things well, right?
Well, he sees it before it comes open. The ball's out of his hands so quickly. He's got a bunch of different arm angles. The offense is perfect for him. He's got a really GoDaddy in 10. I mean, that kid is literally electric. When he gets the ball on the screen or the fly sweep, pray that he gets on the ground. He is really something special. They just do a great job. They're one of the top 3 scoring teams. First downs. You can look at all the stats they've got. I'd be here all day reading them all off. I've got it around here somewhere. They're 3rd in passing offense, 3rd in total offense. Understand, they just got to play an Army who held the ball for them for 42 minutes to mess their stats up. Coming into this game, they were number 1 in all those deals.
How well do they run the ball?
They do it better than you think because people ignore it because they got to stop the pass so much, and they'll hand it off and they'll pop one on you. They beat FAU on a great run, and you got to watch it. They've got good backs. It's a good job. I mean, they're in a great location. They've got great facilities. Coach Traylor had a great career there, and they moved on from him, and Eric came in there. He's got that thing going again.
Defensively, you mentioned earlier they line up in an odd front?
Yeah. They're in an odd, and they move it around quite a bit. They've got, 6 or 7 blitz patterns they like to use. They're very aggressive. They've had a good season. they've been in a lot of close games like us, and they've won their fair share of those close games, and they've lost a couple of close games here lately against really good teams.
I asked you this yesterday. I think it's worth repeating. A lot of times fans look at this game as a rivalry game, and we've been playing them for about 12, 13 years now, and it's a rivalry for the fans. It may be a rivalry sometimes for other things, but it's just another game for you guys. It's another game, and it's a Texas game. It's two great Texas schools, one with a 14-year tradition and one with a 100-year tradition, playing a football game.
Yeah, I think that's what's got it going is the proximity of the schools. We recruit against them some, but some of the kids out of the Metroplex have got on our roster. We've had to go head-to-head with them, but that's what it is. It's the battles. You know each other, Texas schools, and I have a lot of respect for their program. I know they're a very proud program. I've been keeping up with North Texas, forever. When they hired Todd Dodge in the early 2000s, he was a high school coach, and I used to go up there, and I thought this is a really gold mine of a job, and it is.
Army to beat them. They held the ball for 42 minutes, but I guess the defense has to get some credit being on the field that long and only giving up 14 points.
Incredible. I don't think it's been talked about enough. I mean, Army has boat raced everybody they played all year, and Army executed 2 crucial 3rd down and 8s, or they wouldn't have got to 14.
All right, we do our goodwill drive of the game, and we go back to the last game, and that was the Memphis game. And is there a play or plays that stand out for you that were drives of the game that tipped the thing in the favor of the Roadrunners?
The things that don't really go noticed. Obviously, there's a lot of big plays, but when Owen scrambled in the second quarter to get us to the 38, 37-yard line, which is the target line we want to get it to for Tate, and him making that 54-yard field goal or whatever that was to cut it to 7, that was a big play in the game. And that's a play where Owen was conscious, knew where he had to get to, did a great job scrambling. That's one of those kind of plays that gets kind of left out in the game, but you're not tied at halftime if not for that scramble and that kick.
All right, so let's talk about Tate's 54-yard field goal, school record. That was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, and didn't he made a 60.
He made a 61,
and they iced him.
Yeah.
And off the bar, too.
Yeah.
And I knew they were going to put their returner out there, and that's the worst feeling because if he doesn't hit it good, they're going to return that thing. And there's not a lot of great players out there to tackle the ball.
Right.
And I told Overmyer, I'm like, dear Lord, please tackle him. And ended up Kell knocked him out of bounds, or that would have been a terrible way to end the half.
Yeah, every time you see that returner go back there, people start thinking about Auburn and Alabama from a few years ago.
No doubt. And as a coach, you're just like, oh, do I try this thing or do I not try it? So we let him rip it, and he didn't quite hit it good.
Yeah. All right. Goodwill of San Antonio presents the drive of the game. They take your donation and turn them into careers, training, and education for those in need and fuel the San Antonio economy. Your Goodwill donation can get you free tickets to UTSA games. Bring your gently used clothing and household items to Goodwill today. One more segment, and we'll talk about a really cool thing that the UTSA football team is going to do, being that this game is on Friday night. That's coming up next. It's the Jeff Traylor Radio Show on the UTSA Sports Network. Segment of the show coming up here in just a second. Hey fans, thanks to BMW, one lucky fan will win the ultimate home game weekend at the Alamo Dome at our home finale versus Temple on November 22nd. That's next week. One lucky fan will get a luxurious stay at the historic Maverick Hotel downtown, 2 premium game tickets, a BMW prize pack, and dinner as they cruise the city in a gorgeous new electric BMW X7 SUV. Be sure to check out GoUTSA.com/promotions to register today. It's the BMW Ultimate Game Weekend. And on behalf of UTSA Athletics and our military appreciation partner, USAA, we'd like to take a moment to thank all service members, veterans, and their families listening today for your service and sacrifice. USAA serving the military community and their families since 1922. The next 2 weeks, this show will be on Tuesday night. So next Tuesday before the Temple game, and then the Thanksgiving week for the Army game, both of those shows will be on Tuesday night. So move your day up a little bit to attend or listen to the show. It is a Friday night game. It is the start of high school playoffs in San Antonio and around the state. And you guys are going to do something as a team to honor all those schools still playing football as you walk into the Dome this week.
Yeah, I feel terrible. I mean, we've got some great schools here in our own city, and you know, I just don't like playing against those guys. You got Steele going, Smithson Valley, Bernie, Alamo Heights, Reagan, Brennan, Piper, Churchill, Sotomayor. I mean, there's a lot of Johnson. I mean, there's just so many schools. I'm leaving out. That's 10.
Yeah.
This I rattled off, and we're competing against them, and I just don't like it. So it's just in honor of that. Our players are going to all wear their high school colors. They're excited about it, and I know it's a small thing. I'm sure I'll be repping my THSCA hat Friday night just as a tip back to my buddies because I hate it. But at the same time, you know, President Amy says it all the time. You know, we're the front porch of the university. We're going to be on national TV. Met with the ESPN crew today. They love coming to the Alamo Dome. They love coming to San Antonio. I know Andre Ware and those guys will do a great job covering us. We're 27-3, the Alamo Dome, one of the top 5 teams in the country. And we got a lot to show off. We have a great university, a great city, a great program, and it's a great opportunity for us to be on national TV in spite of having to compete against Friday night football.
And in this day and age, you know, as you mentioned on the several times, Friday night there's going to be a whole bunch of teams and hotels watching TV, and they're going to see UTSA in North Texas, and there may be somebody that says, I want to catch a pass from Owen McCann, or I want to block for him, that you may get just because you see him on TV.
What's the great thing about having Owen? I mean, everybody can tell how transcendent of a quarterback that he is. Andre's going to be talking him up, you know, Friday night because he's so good. He's young. I know he's not going to leave us. I just know the family. And there's going to be a lot of young players want to come play with him. And we got a lot of young players on offense that are excited to play with him. And it's going to have our fan base excited. It's going to have our city excited. I mean, it's just really good. We got to enjoy Frank Harris. I'm not comparing Owen to Frank. That's so unfair. But you've seen what great quarterback play does for a university and a city. And we've all enjoyed it this year. We just haven't quite made the plays on the road that we've historically made here. Or you're looking at a team that's 7-2 and playing for the championship again. And it's probably 1 or 2 plays at each of those 3 conference losses. There's no doubt. And it's just plays we've made in the past. And we just haven't this year. And I repeat, that's on the head coach. That's nobody but me. All right. We are playing on Friday. I saw Middle Tennessee the other night in our old conference in Conference USA playing on a Tuesday. I've seen Wednesday games. I'm hoping we don't have those. I guess we can deal with Friday. I don't think the AAC will ever be that way. You know, we've got a really good ESPN contract. It's one of the reasons we got in the league. It's a very prestigious league that they look after, and I think we'll always be on Fridays and Saturdays. I know you don't pay attention to the point spreads. JJ and I usually remind you what the line is or what the boys in the desert think. But not only is UTSA a home dog, but they expect these 2 teams to score over 70 points. Yeah, I just, a home dog back-to-back, I get it. It's fair. We don't like it. I mean, of course we don't, but it's fair. North Texas has had a better season than us. They're better statistically in a lot of categories than we are. So it's fair, but you gotta put the ball down and go play. Yeah.
All right, we had Martavius out here. He got Defensive Player of the Week after the Memphis game with 10 tackles. Anytime you get any of those conference awards, that's cool for the team and the player.
No doubt. It was a huge win for us. I mean, it kept us fighting. It's been tough to go into a bye and lose one, especially at home for us. And we know we got another great team coming in here, and we're excited about the opportunity. We know we dug ourselves in a deep hole, but we're trying to come out of that thing rapidly.
Oscar Cardenas had his procedures done to get his knee fixed, and still very much a part of this team. And you talked earlier in the week about how much those other 3 guys in that tight end room and the others that are going to play down the road look up to him.
Every morning I walk in that team room, there's JT with his crutches, Joe Evans with his crutches, Oscar Cardenas with his crutches, Ken Robinson. You know, it's just it's tough. I mean, I'm just being very honest with you. Mekhi Hart, you know, it's just those are a lot of great players that have helped put us on the map. We used to not have these nationally televised games. There's a reason we do, those great players, and it's been tough watching this, you know, but to your point, those young guys have all stepped up to honor those kids. Those receivers want JT to be happy. Those tight ends want Oscar to be happy. That D-line wants Joe Evans to be happy. And we're busting our butt trying to get those guys to a bowl game just so we can be around them another month.
And you're 2 wins away, and obviously 2 home games, so you can take care of that or get closer to that if you can win on Friday night and again next week.
You can't get to 6 if you don't get 5, so we got to get 5 first.
All right, let's talk about keys to the game and what is it going to take to beat North Texas?
Yeah, it's just their big plays. They're so good at it. We've got to do our best just to try to limit that. You're not going to stop them. They're too good at their offense. They're going to get theirs. We just got to make it hard for them. Offensively, you know, we've got to run the ball better. I know we're really good at throwing it, but, man, we've got to do a better job running the football. And then our special teams, they're really good. Their punter and their kicker's good. They got a great returner. Drew Zavoda is a Texas high school football coach. He's one of the guys that got into it first, and I'm a big fan of Drew's. And he does a good job coordinating those special teams.
And how's Robert Henry with that thumb out that he got, in the warm-up against Memphis?
Yeah, he'll go. Obviously, you're always worried about anybody that's a running back that's got a hand injury. But he'll go like everybody. North Texas got injured players, too. I imagine
about the tough ones right now.
I think we're leading the country in most guys for season-ending losses. But everybody's got beat-up kids right now.
All right, thanks, Jeff, and we'll look forward to Friday night.
Thank you, Andy. God bless. Birds up.
All right, that's Jeff. That's the Jeff Traylor Radio Show. We're on the air on Friday at 5. The kick is at 7. UTSA women play basketball tomorrow. They're at New Mexico State. You'll hear that game on 93.3 The Bull starting at 5:30. Thanks to Shane Carter for producing the show. Have a great evening. We'll talk to you Friday night from the Dome at 5. It's the Jeff Traylor Radio Show on the UTSA Sports Network.